Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Malts and Meeples. I'm your host, Petter, and today, I always say I'm your host. That is left over from podcasting. But today, we're back to the table for Stars of Akarios. And we have kind of a different setup than normal because we are not going to be doing tactical space combat for the first time here. It's always been tactical space combat before. This time it's going to be space exploration as well as planet exploration. So just a quick recap, kind of with the conclusion where we left off at. No one seems to know you're heading. Grabbing an ensign as she leaves the bridge, you ask her for info. Saul happens to exit not long after. Leave him alone. She doesn't know anything. I can tell you where we're going. We're headed to Davith Major in Sector D-3.2. Although there's no base on that planet that I know of. Saul chuckles at your blank expressions and shrugs. I guess we'll just have to trust that the captain knows something we don't. So, space exploration is going to have us looking for D-3.2. And, well, we're in the Draconian system, flying around, having my Negroni. Let's get going here. All right. So down to the table. Starting out here with our space exploration, we have 2.2 here, 3.1 there. And I think I'm probably going to want to go to 3.1. It seems like I want to end up here at 3.2. I could lay this out. I just don't know what's coming up here. So we spend a supply. Fly here. Exclamation point means an event happens. So these are kind of like the city events or road events for Gloomhaven. Closing in on this signal, the Sparrow draws within range of a small freight hauler. At first it appears to be completely inert. However, closer inspection reveals that it is, in fact, active, although barely. It's running on minimum power for some reason. As if in greeting, a short data stream is emitted from the vessel. It turns out to be simple text. Fuel cell ruptured, backup nearly empty, minimum power, life support failing, please help. They must really be low on power if they're not willing to use video transmissions. So this could just straight up be a lie. Connect the Sparrow's fuel line. Feed to the freighter quickly. Sparrow loses one supply. It seems suspicious. Leave it and call their bluff. Honestly, I don't know what I want to do for this one because part of me is like, this seems like a trap. I don't really want to use up my supplies just to excuse me, have it be a trap, like, or have some negative effect. Also, I don't really want to leave them floating there if it is legit. All right, let's lose a supply. As the fuel flows into the freighter, lights flicker on across the vessel. Soon you're receiving video messages from the crew expressing their thanks. We've been stuck out here for more than a week on minimal life support, hoping somebody would come by. Thank you for your generosity. You saved our lives. The freighter disappears into the distance, and Perkins scratches his chin and comments. I know they say a good deed is its own reward, but personally, I would have liked something tangible. Cash, upgrades, something shiny. So we pick the better of the two outcomes. The other one gives you a stress, which don't really want. And I want to see here. We have a blue location here, location 7. Because I might want to explore this, see what happens. I only have one more energy left. Let's see. 2 energy left. Blue are side quests. I don't know what happens if I run a... Now I'm like, space exploration. Reminding myself what happens. Okay, just increase stress by 1, which is not ideal, but kind of want to scout this one out. Side mission. Mission 7. Doing it now. Crashed craft. Initial scans of the region indicate little of interest other than a small comet passing through. As the Sparrow gets closer, it becomes clear it's not a comet. It's the remains of a small... Or not just a comet. There's the remains of a small craft crashed on its surface. Fortunately, the comet isn't dangerous, and a quick recovery mission is sent out to investigate. The remains of the craft are mostly just wreckage. However, some components can be salvaged with little effort. I was hoping that this would give us something more than what it did, because it gave us crashed craft. And then bumps up our credits some more. 25 for Violet Ray, and 35 now for Gierden. But finding some supplies there would have been great, because now I'm going to fly up here to 3.2. And there's actually 2 locations I can explore on here, but I know from what it told me before, the one I want to explore is 8. So we're going to take a stress on each of the pilots and explore number 8 here. Requirement to be able to do this is Endomedalia. Don't know how you would get this far without it. Objective, recover and repair the repair package from the Chosek moon base. If we had something called home base, there'd be a specific thing that happens here, but we do not have that one, so. The journey is slow and anxious. None of the other pilots you talk to know who the enemy was or what they wanted. Most of the crew are too shaken by the genocide to talk much anyway. Without the benefit of the warp drive, the Sparrow limps to Dabath Major without incident, using the debris from the area, or in the area from the destruction of Medalia. The Sparrow charts a course that keeps it off any potential enemy's sensors. Everyone files into the briefing room. It is painfully obvious that there are far fewer chairs being occupied than when you sat here only a short time ago. Standing in front of a large display, Captain Summer begins. We're in orbit around Chosek, third moon of Dabith Major. You can be forgiven for not being familiar with it. It's a classified location known only to select high-ranking officials. Intrigued looks are exchanged between the groups in the room as Soma continues. Our current situation is more important than Chosek's classified status. All you need to know is that it's a military base and offers a vital chance to repair and refuel. The captain clears her throat and continues. We've hailed Chosek, however, no one is answering. The enemy may already have been here. You will be provided with an inventory of what we need to repair the jump drive, but let me stress something. This is a retrieval mission only. We have no indication that anyone is operating this station, so we assume the worst. Treat anyone you meet with suspicion and stay in constant communication with the Sparrow. Someone looks down momentarily, showing fatigue. We lost too many good people today. Far too many. So be careful out there. I don't want to lose any more. After landing your fighter, one look around tells you that this place was abandoned in a hurry. Blaster marks are visible all around. A couple of ships are upended nearby as if they crashed just after takeoff. Containers are strewn about. What happened here? There's no one to be seen, and you're glad to note no bodies either. Your optimism does not last, though, as you soon notice trails of blood in the area. Has the enemy struck here already? Setup. Chosek Moon World Exploration. So we're going to take our planetary system. We'll just stick the Sparrow up in that corner. And we start here. So for our characters, we have health. Violet Ray has 5 health. Garden has 7. We have energy. Both have 9. Then we have our stress track. And stress here, I believe, works a little bit differently, where when you hit those thresholds, I'm gonna double check here. Well, space exploration still there. So stress. So you basically go up until 10, and then you start to lose health instead. And that appears to be it. I'm trying to see if there's anything specific for stress here. I don't think so, so let's get going. So each character has 9 energy. At the start of the round, you tick down the energy, and then the characters can take actions spending their dice to do those actions. So for example, this one here, which, let me see one thing. probably have to zoom back out here in a second, but this one here requires 2 successes of any type. So like Violet Ray can roll 2 successes. Those dice are spent. She goes up 1 on the stress track and completes this action to move here. Then there is a stop with a number 1. And that corresponds to an entry in this book. So these challenges here are just pointing, the ones in green just point you to what card next, whereas red it's a required thing the first time you go in there, and the black are tests that you can do. What's that smell? Everywhere you look are indicators that something awful happened here. Stations in disarray, smashed up equipment, smears of ooze? At least it isn't fresh. I guess that accounts for the smell. Hopefully the items you need are still in working order. So now I could have Garden do the same test, go in here, and then maybe try that strength check. I'm going to have Violet Ray search 15 down there. You reach down to pick up a gun and clean off the blood. There are spent casings littering the ground. This doesn't appear to have saved its last owner. It doesn't give me anything specific for that, so that spends all 4 Violet Ray's dice. Only need 1 die from Garden to then move up to 3. There's footsteps and blood on the ground, but it does look like there's something interesting on the ground there, so let's do that. Number 2. You crouch down to find a crowbar caked in blood. On your left is a set of footprints leading north. Gain +1 strength for the remainder of the scenario. I'm going to do that by putting a yellow cube on the strength symbol for him. And I'm actually going to, well, I take a stress, but I'm going to head back down with him. So we've completed character actions. All characters collect their dice back. And then we reduce energy. We're going to start with Garden spending 2. Move in here. And there's a strength 5 up there. Or a number 5 up there. That is going to require strength. Now I want to check one last thing here. Because that's space exploration, of course. Wrong area. Okay, yeah, so it does require energy. But now I just need to get a 3. My strength, and on a strength check, I already have a 3, but I have to use 1 die every check. So I now read 5. Success. You put your shoulder into the jammed door and hear a satisfying crack as it opens. Explore and move to card 02 or 05. Basically, I'm assuming it's a check you can do from either direction. I'm going to move up here. So there are 4 different symbols on the characters. That is not one of them that I have. You can see the different symbols. So I do not have any charm on my characters. I just have strength, brains, and hands. So I'm assuming strength, dex, and, well, I can look here. Strength, dex, and intelligence. No charm, though. So Gearden still has 1 left, which he can use for 24. Of course, another stress. Project Rebound. Entry 0021-day 6. Results have been unproductive, and the subjects have become unruly once they realized that we would have to injure them in order to commence testing. A scuffle resulted in several orderlies being injured themselves. Fortunately, I convinced them that this was an excellent opportunity to benefit from undergoing testing themselves. Aggression seems to be rising, with increased testosterone levels required to boost healing. Lead scientist Dr. Romero. I'm going to spend 1 with Violet Ray to look here at 18. Project Rebound, entry 14, day 1. After countless submissions and proposals, approval has finally come down from the head of the Akarios Institute. No doubt they will see benefit in soldiers that heal 3 times as fast. I hope the medical impact will be more widespread than the military application. Rather looking forward to starting active testing tomorrow. Lead scientist Dr. Romero. Time to go through another door, I think. Take a stress. We're going to 6. And we're going to try number 17 here, which requires 3 movement symbols, but uses the hand symbol, and Violet Ray has 2 on that, so failed. These are both combat symbols. I can take a stress, which I'm going to re-roll it, and that is just a failure. So nothing happens, I believe. Let me check. As you attempt to scale the crates, your foot slips and you hit your head on the ground below. Take 2 damage. Sweet. So, tick down energy. To decide if 17 is worth it. I know that I take 2 energy if I fail. I'm going to roll 2 die. I only have to use one of the dice, so I don't have to use the stress die. And I do get 17 now. You scale the crates, and on top there's one with a conventional tumbler lock. The lock appears to be broken. A firm tug confirms your suspicion as the lock falls off. Gain 10 credits. Not what I was looking for. So normally you split the credit, or everybody gets the credits for a mission. So when we were doing that with the space exploration, both characters get 10 credits. That is not the case with exploring on a map. Since we're in different areas, doesn't make sense. Let's go stress. We're going to move here to number 11. And last thing for Violet Ray, I could be splitting up their actions here, but for her is going to be exploring here, number 16. The screen on the terminal has an unopened incoming message. No possibility of aid or pickup at this time. Project Rebound must be kept secret. Please resolve issue on your end. No further communication. Akarios Institute Command. The message is from several days ago. Super trustworthy. Let's see. I'm gonna roll 2 for intelligence with Garden. I got the additional success I needed to do number 8. So right now I'm just really poking around trying to find out what we need for the ship. Hacking the terminal for building plans would be hopeless, but somebody left a sticky note with the password next to it. The password is, password. You have downloaded the schematics. Each X represents a card. There's an exclamation point, or the exclamation point is the location of the repair package. So, how it goes is X, 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 exclamation point, X, X. I flipped those 2 characters. X, 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 X. So we know we want to end up here. Looks like there's a route this way. We're going to go north, though, with Garden to 7. Just maybe equally as easy. Looks like there's a way to exit over here as well. So tick down energy. Now that we know where we're going for sure, let's start booking it. Let's start with Garden. Get some move to be able to go to 8. How is there no connection? Well, let's do Violet Ray then. To move up to 10. So I guess there's a connection here, but we have a stop. Stop on 14. Coming here was a mistake, is your first thought after hearing a high-pitched wailing. Startling the group, a terrifying creature jumps into visibility beyond a glass wall. So right here, in an attempt to get you, the ugly beast looks humanoid except for the tendrils writhing from out of unseen openings in its body, like a tentacled monster escaping its human confines. cracks in the glass spiderweb from impact, and before you can act, it shatters. You only have a moment to decide how to react before the creature jumps through the window. Great. So we reveal all cards now. 4, 9, 12. So it looks like there's a path that way. And we place red cubes on 4, 10, and 12. Go to 38. Creature encounter. This uses your action dice as a normal action would. What do you do? Read the entry corresponding to the number of assigned action dice to the skill check chosen. Go to 37 after performing the creature encounter for the first time. So you can run, which is dexterity, or fight, which is strength. You know what? I'm going to fight, even though I don't have any strength. I'm going to roll 3 dice for it, though. 3 hits. 3 hits. You fight and kill the creature, but not before taking some damage. Take 1 damage and remove the cube from the card. Down to 2 health. Less than ideal. 37. There is no end to these creatures, and they seem to be spreading throughout the research facility. At the beginning of each round, spawn 1 creature using a red cube in each explored card adjacent to a card with a creature on it. No more than 1 creature can be on a single card or tile. If there are no creatures on the board at the beginning of a round, spawn 1 creature on cards 4 and 10. If a pilot is in a room when a creature spawns on the same tile, or a pilot moves onto a card with a creature, the pilot must perform a creature encounter entry 38 with their available action dice. If a pilot has no available action dice, they perform the creature encounter at the start of the next turn. If a player successfully runs, this ends their action phase. If a player successfully fights, they can perform their action phase as normal. So it looks like you want to fight them. Of course, Gearden still has 2 and his great strength. But with 2, I can't get into number 8 there. I could move. I'm going to move twice. So 1 stress out of that. I'm going to move down here for a reason. So end of the round, or start of the next round. This is going to get stupid fast. Take down energy. But what we're going to do is we're going to start. Giernan takes out the one with here with a 4. No damage to us. Giernan moves. Takes out another one with a 4. No damage to us. And then stress. Move up here. So, just gonna call. Do I want to move up there? So I think I want to move back. No, I think I want to stay. I don't think I'm going to use that last die, that last action, because now Violet Ray is going to move in here. We know somewhere in here there's going to be what we need. It's 3 action dice to do 4 or 23. Let's do 4. I have a good feeling about 4. Let me actually zoom out. Now you can see more of the map. In fact, if I do, can I do this? Reshape that map. There we go. So I said 4, not 23. These goods appeared locked tight and no way in. There's no reason to make noise trying to force them open. Well, the monster's already here, so there probably is. But that tells me that is not the right one to look at. So, spending energy down a long ways. Well, most of the map is covered. Thankfully, there's no rule of anything, so Garden takes out that one. Move. Well, move, fight. But I did get a 3, not a 4 that one time, so Garden takes a damage. Violet Ray. Violet Ray is going to spend 3 dice to open up number 23. You force open the crates until you chance upon the correct one. Inside, an egg-shaped crystal that makes a jump drive travel possible. You stuff it in your backpack. As soon as you hear not too distant sounds of screeching and rustling at your feet. It's time to get out of here, and quick. Read success conclusion after all conscious pilots reach card 1. Well, gonna load up the map here. But not quite yet. Not quite yet, because I still had 1 die that I could use to move there. Now I load up the map. Garden takes out that one. No issue. Wish I had stayed 1 further behind, but I just need 2 successes. That'd be 3 dice, most likely, that I need for this. So, stress. Move on back there. Take it out. No problem. move ahead by 1. Now, Violet Ray takes a stress, moves up here, then moves there, 2 dice, 2 moves, nothing, that monster stays, she takes 2 damage and is knocked unconscious. So she's down for the count at this point in time, but as long as Garden can make it, we're good. So it's kind of like that jump drive energy crystal thing. It's a party item. So Garden, stressed, but no problem, takes it out. Move. No problem, takes it out. Move. Those 2 come back in. Garden takes 2 damage, or takes 1 damage, but takes it out. Nice thing about the crowbar is it's just an automatic takeout of the creature. So it says here, read success conclusion after all conscious pilots reach card 1. We are back on card 1 with our conscious pilot. Ooh, I wonder if Violet Ray, if we're going unconscious here, no, it just says they are unconscious. Does not say gain a trauma. So, I mean, it's about as good as one could hope, though I feel like you should gain a trauma. I don't want to gain a trauma. Looks like traumas are maybe more flight focused, though. So, we get to read the success. You get back to your ship just in time. The creatures swarm towards you, but a few blasts of your ship's aft cannons clear a number of them away. You pull back on the controls and lift away, leaving the chaos below. You can't get back to Sparrow's hangar fast enough. Once you have docked, you sit in your cockpit, catching your breath, trying to make sense of what you've just seen. You barely notice Grease approaching, laughing as she looks at you. The look on your face. I bet you haven't been that scared since your mama came after you with a wooden spoon. There's an awkward silence, and the pilots stare blankly at her, still too shaken to get angry. Grease shrugs obliviously. For crying out loud. Get over it. You're all here. You've got all your fingers and toes. That's better than most other people today. Now, where's my equipment? So, Sparrow gains 4 supply. We gain pilot skills. And go to scenario 9. Let's see what scenario 9 is. Scenario 9, space combat. So, that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. Hopefully this has been fun to see something a little bit different on the map, and not that long a situation. I actually had still another round of energy before Garden would start taking stress each round. So, well, apparently we're on a planet with zombies from some sort of experiment. Gives me a little bit of Resident Evil feel. Or, I mean, really any zombie thing. But that was fun. That was interesting to see something different. And, yeah, I enjoyed that. I liked what it could do. I think this game, from what I've heard, is mainly going to be space combat, which means that these planetary situations are not going to be that many of them. But I'm still curious to know what they are. And yeah, it was fun to do something different. It was fun to use characters' stats. Gierden could just go in and wreck shop with that crowbar, which was good, because otherwise that would have been real difficult to get out of there. But that's it. That is it for this episode, or not episode, but this gameplay of Stars of Akarios. Hopefully this is fun to see that planet exploration and how that works out. You can let me know down in the comments below. How do you like it? What do you think? What was the most interesting part of that to you? Was there enough decision-making, stories, things like that, for either the planet exploration or the space exploration? But if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, like I said, leave a comment. All of those things make the video show up higher on YouTube and can help grow the channel. So thank you so much again for watching, and I will be back next Wednesday. More Stars of Akarios, and Monday to be determined, but I think my plan is to try and play Isle of Cats Explorandra. With that, bottoms up.